What if two simple materials could change everything you know about soil? What if I told you that the two most powerful soil builders aren't found in glossy gardening catalogs or high-priced soil amendments, but right in your recycling bin and your barbecue ashes? According to the USDA Soil Health Research Program, 2023, most garden soils lose up to half of their carbon and microbial diversity within just a decade of conventional tilling and chemical fertilizers. Yet, scientists and an increasing number of home gardeners are uncovering a quiet revolution in soil care. It's not about more products, it's about simpler carbon. Everyday materials like cardboard and biochar can rebuild soil health faster, cheaper, and more sustainably than anything sold in a bag. Last year, a lifelong gardener set out to test this for himself. 2 garden beds, 1 experiment, cardboard versus biochar. What began as a casual weekend project turned into a lesson that upended decades of assumptions about what soil truly needs to thrive. This isn't a story about choosing sides. It's about discovering balance. Fast versus slow, feast versus foundation, today versus tomorrow. Let's dig in. Number 1, the feast for the soil. For decades, cardboard has been the unsung hero of backyards, something we toss aside without a thought. Yet when laid on the ground, it transforms from trash into life support. Within weeks, its dull brown layers become a banquet for the unseen world beneath our feet. Fungi thread through its fibers like silver lace. Earthworms gather beneath, and suddenly soil that once felt lifeless turns soft, damp, and sweet-smelling again. According to the Cornell Soil Carbon Dynamics Study, 2022, cardboard is far more than packaging. It's rich in cellulose and lignin, compounds that form label carbon, the kind of fast, digestible energy microbes crave. When you moisten cardboard and cover it with mulch, microbial respiration can spike by up to 240% in just 10 days. That means more oxygen exchange, more microbe activity, and more fertile soil in record time. Here's how it works. The carbon-rich fibers feed fungi, creating the base of a thriving soil food web. The starch-based glues break down into sugars, energizing bacterial colonies. The flat sheets block light, suppressing weeds and trapping soil moisture exactly where roots need it most. The results are immediate and visible. Cold spring soils warm faster under a layer of cardboard, encouraging early planting. Weed pressure drops dramatically without herbicides. Within 3 to 6 months, the cardboard softens into humus, a dark, crumbly layer teeming with microbial life. It's a process so simple that it feels almost magical. A gardener lays down cardboard to clean up a patch of weedy ground, and nature does the rest. Worms tunnel upward to feast. Fungi knit together networks that improve structure. Even in dense clay or sandy soil, this quick pulse of organic matter brings relief and renewal. Practical tip: choose plain brown cardboard, free of tape or glossy coatings. Overlap the edges to block weeds, soak it thoroughly, and top with leaves or grass clippings to keep it moist. The more organic cover you add, the richer your soil becomes. Cardboard works like a good breakfast for the soil, a surge of energy after a long night of neglect. It wakes up microbes, stirs the worms, and sets the stage for visible growth in a matter of weeks. For gardeners, especially those craving instant results after years of tired ground, it's deeply satisfying. Watching something so ordinary create such rapid change rekindles the quiet joy of tending the earth. But as every gardener knows, quick meals fade. Cardboard's magic burns bright, then fades as it dissolves into humus. It's nourishment for today, not a foundation for tomorrow. And that raises the next question. What if your soil could remember its fertility, not just taste it for a single season? Number 2, biochar. If cardboard is breakfast for your soil, then biochar is the skeleton, the invisible structure that holds everything together. At first glance, biochar looks unremarkable. Tiny black crumbs that could be mistaken for ashes from last night's barbecue. But don't be fooled. Those crumbs are the result of one of humanity's oldest and most powerful soil-building technologies, a practice that dates back thousands of years, and is now being rediscovered by modern science. According to the University of California Davis Biochar study, 2023, biochar is created through a process called pyrolysis, heating organic material like wood, crop residue, or nutshells at high temperatures with little oxygen. This transforms the carbon into a stable, porous structure that resists decomposition for hundreds, even thousands, of years. In other words, while compost and cardboard feed your soil for a season, biochar endures for generations. Researchers have documented remarkable long-term effects. Soil carbon storage increases by up to 300%, locking carbon in place instead of releasing it into the atmosphere. Water retention improves by up to 50% as the porous surface acts like a sponge during dry spells. Nutrient leaching and greenhouse gas emissions decrease significantly, improving both soil health and environmental sustainability. But there's a catch, one that every gardener should know. Raw biochar is like an empty house, plenty of space, but no guests yet. If you mix it into your soil right away, it can temporarily steal nutrients as it absorbs them, leaving your plants hungry. That's why the Texas A&M Soil Microbiology Lab, 2022, emphasizes a vital step called charging or inoculating. Here's how it works. Why not soak biochar in compost tea, manure water, or even a slurry of kitchen scraps for 2 to 3 days? 2. Stir occasionally to ensure even coverage. 3. Allow microbes to colonize the tiny pores. Once charged, biochar transforms into a microbial city, a permanent refuge for bacteria, fungi, and beneficial organisms. It doesn't feed plants directly, but it provides the real estate where nutrients can settle and water can linger. Think of it as giving your soil not just food, but a well-built home to live in. In practice, biochar's effects are subtle at first. During the first few weeks, your plants may look unchanged, perhaps even slower than those growing in freshly mulched soil. But give it time. As roots stretch deeper and the summer heat intensifies, you'll start to see the quiet power of structure. While your neighbor's garden wilts after 3 hot days, yours remains steady, soil cool and moist, leaves still perky. The difference is invisible, yet unmistakable. That's the magic of biochar. It doesn't dazzle you overnight, but it strengthens your soil's foundation for decades. It's an investment, not an impulse. One that pays back in healthier plants, fewer waterings, and a richer ecosystem that keeps improving year after year. So which one truly wins? The quick starter or the quiet builder? The only way to know is to put them to the test, side by side, and watch the story unfold beneath your feet. Number 3. Cardboard versus biochar in real soil. Sometimes the only way to understand soil is to let it speak for itself. To test these two carbon powerhouses, cardboard and biochar, a gardener decided to run a simple, side-by-side experiment. 2 identical garden beds, each 1 meter square, sat under the same sun, the same watering schedule, and the same pair of test crops, lettuce and beans. The idea was straightforward. Lettuce, a shallow feeder, would reveal short-term fertility, while beans, with their deeper roots, would test long-term structure and water balance. The setup. Bed A, shredded cardboard spread about 2 inches deep, topped with grass clippings and a thin layer of garden soil. Bed B, compost-charged biochar, soaked for 3 days in rich compost tea, mixed into the top 6 inches of soil at about a 10% ratio by volume. And then, the waiting began. Observations. Week 2. The first signs of life came quickly in the cardboard bed. When the gardener lifted a corner of the mulch, it was like peeking into another world. Worms wriggled, fungal threads spread, and the soil felt damp and alive. Above the surface, the lettuce seedlings were already stretching upward, their leaves a vibrant green. The beans were modest but healthy. In contrast, the biochar bed looked unimpressive. The surface stayed dark and even, but the seedlings lagged behind. Growth was slower. To the untrained eye, it seemed as though biochar had failed the test. No explosion of life, no quick transformation. Observations. Weeks 4 to 8. Then came the turning point. By the end of the first month, the cardboard bed was still thriving, but subtle signs of exhaustion began to appear. The lettuce remained lush, yet the beans seemed average. The soil, though rich, began to dry more quickly between waterings as the cardboard's rapid decay tapered off. Meanwhile, in the biochar bed, something remarkable was happening. The lettuce leaves deepened in color, the beans developed thicker stems, and the soil stayed moist long after watering. When the gardener gently dug around the roots, they found fine white roots extending deep into the dark, crumbly soil, a sign of stable structure and excellent aeration. By mid-season, the difference was clear. Cardboard bed, a sugar rush effect. Fast, lush growth at first, tapering off as nutrients ran out. Great for jump-starting a new bed or smothering weeds, but temporary. Biochar bed, the slow burn. Modest at first, but steady, with fewer weeds, stronger root systems, and better yields per bean plant. The results echoed findings from the USDA Soil Structure Resilience Project 2021, which reported that adding biochar to soil can increase aggregate stability by up to 40%, improving root penetration, water retention, and resistance to erosion. Cardboard, on the other hand, is excellent for boosting microbial biomass, that initial burst of life, but it depletes within months as it's consumed. In short, cardboard feeds the soil life now. Biochar builds a home for soil life forever. The experiment revealed a truth that's as old as nature itself. Short-term energy and long-term structure must coexist. The soil doesn't want a single miracle fix. It wants balance. So what if you didn't have to choose between them? What if these two opposites, the quick feast and the quiet architect, could become partners, working together to create the perfect soil ecosystem? Number 4, soil's perfect partnership. Nature has never been a creature of extremes. It doesn't choose one method or material. It layers them. Look at any forest floor after a rainstorm. Soft leaves and twigs rest above a bed of dark, carbon-rich soil. Life feeds from the top, while strength is built from below. That layering, fast decay over slow stability, is nature's oldest blueprint for fertile ground. This same principle applies perfectly to cardboard and biochar. One feeds, the other anchors. Together, they create a soil ecosystem that's both alive and enduring. According to the USDA Forest Ecology Study, 2023, when stable carbon, like biochar, is paired with fresh organic matter, like cardboard, the effects multiply. Microbial diversity rises by up to 60%, while nutrient cycling efficiency doubles. The combination mimics what happens naturally in healthy forest soils, where quick-decaying leaf litter energizes the surface and deeper carbon layers preserve that energy for years. Here's how to bring that forest logic into your own garden. Step 1. Build the foundation. Mix charged biochar into your soil. About 10% by volume is enough. This forms the permanent base, storing water and nutrients while giving microbes a stable home to inhabit. Step 2. Add the feast. Lay down moistened plain cardboard directly on top of the biochar-enriched soil. Overlap the edges to block weeds, and finish with a layer of mulch, grass clippings, or shredded leaves. The cardboard feeds bacteria and fungi instantly, while protecting moisture at the surface. Step 3. Let nature take over. Within weeks, the cardboard begins to break down, releasing quick energy. Worms move upward, dragging organic matter deeper, where it meets the waiting biochar. The result is a living exchange between fast and slow. Food for today, structure for tomorrow. The outcome is remarkable. Soil water retention can improve by up to 40%, meaning fewer dry spells and less need for irrigation. Weed pressure drops naturally. Crops stay green longer, even in heat. Over time, your soil gains both vitality and memory. It remembers how to stay fertile. It's like giving your soil both a meal and a home. Immediate nourishment paired with lasting protection. Cardboard sparks the feast, and biochar keeps the banquet alive for years to come. Now that you understand the balance between energy and endurance, let's talk about how you can try this partnership safely, easily, and affordably. No special tools, no expensive products, just nature's wisdom and a little patience. How to try it in your garden, step by step. Now that you know what cardboard and biochar can do separately and together, it's time to bring this science to life in your own garden. The best part? You don't need any special equipment, chemicals, or big investments. Just patience, a bit of curiosity, and two humble materials you may already have on hand. 1. The cardboard method. Fast results. Think of cardboard as your soil's comfort food. Simple, nourishing, and instantly satisfying. How to do it? Collect plain, non-glossy cardboard. No plastic coatings, inks, or tape. Tear or cut into manageable sheets. Lay the sheets directly onto your garden bed or over a patch of lawn you want to transform. Overlap edges so weeds can't sneak through. Cover the cardboard with organic material like grass clippings, straw, or shredded leaves. Keep it moist, not soggy, just enough for the fibers to soften and invite worms and fungi. Within 2 to 4 weeks, you'll see signs of life. Moisture retention improves, worms arrive, and the soil beneath starts to darken and loosen. 2. The biochar method, long-term strength. Biochar is your soil's backbone. It's about structure, not speed. How to do it? Use wood-based biochar, not ashes from a fireplace. Charge the biochar by soaking in compost tea, manure water, or a kitchen scrap slurry for 2 to 3 days. Stir occasionally. Mix the charged biochar into the top 6 inches of soil, using about 10% by volume. Once in the soil, biochar becomes a permanent partner, improving air circulation, water retention, and root health season after season. 3. The combination method, the perfect partnership. To get the best of both worlds, combine the two. How to do it? Mix charged biochar into your soil as the foundation layer. Lay moistened cardboard over the surface, then top with mulch or compost. Cut small openings in the cardboard to plant seedlings or seeds. According to the University of Minnesota Soil Hydration Study, 2023, soils treated with biochar and covered in mulch retain up to 20% more root zone moisture, which is especially helpful for older gardeners who prefer low-maintenance watering routines. The beauty of this system is that it works quietly, season after season, faster with cardboard, stronger with biochar, and best when combined. Still skeptical? You're not alone. But the real proof isn't in theory. It's in the gardens that have flourished season after season, using this simple yet transformative pairing. Science can convince the mind, but stories convince the heart. Across the country, gardeners young and old are discovering how 2 simple materials, cardboard and biochar, can transform not only their soil, but their relationship with the earth itself. George has been gardening longer than most people have been alive. Every fall, he spreads thick sheets of cardboard across his vegetable beds and covers them with fallen maple leaves. That's it. No digging, no tilling, no store-bought fertilizers. By spring, when he lifts the mulch, the transformation is complete. The cardboard has nearly vanished, replaced by soft, dark soil filled with worms and roots. With a grin, he says, "I don't garden anymore. The worms do it for me." His once heavy, clay-packed ground now crumbles like chocolate cake. For him, cardboard isn't just a tool. It's a reminder that nature still knows how to heal itself when given the chance. Carol's approach was slower. 3 years ago, she decided to test biochar in her raised beds. The first season, nothing much happened. Honestly, she admits it looked like a flop, but she stayed patient. By the 3rd summer, her patience paid off. While her neighbors drag hoses through a brutal drought, Carol's tomato plants stayed green and upright. The soil stayed moist, even after weeks without rain. Biochar doesn't shout, she says. It whispers strength. Her experience matches the findings from the Colorado State University Water Retention Research, 2022, which confirmed that soils enriched with biochar hold 25% more moisture during dry periods. A gift for gardeners in aging years who prefer less labor and more resilience. George's cardboard brings quick joy, the thrill of seeing results within weeks. Carol's biochar rewards patience, building endurance for decades. Together, they create a garden that nearly takes care of itself, balancing energy and endurance, like youth and wisdom in harmony. But beyond the experiments and the harvests, there's a quieter truth hiding in the soil. a lesson about time, balance, and the legacy every gardener leaves behind. A life lesson for gardeners. If you garden long enough, you realize that the lessons of soil and life are the same. Soil needs both food and framework, nourishment to thrive today and structure to endure tomorrow. Cardboard teaches us to celebrate the small victories. It reminds us that renewal can happen quickly, that even tired ground can spring back to life with just a little care. Biochar, on the other hand, teaches patience. It's a slow investment, invisible at first, but building something solid and enduring beneath the surface. For many older gardeners, this message feels personal. Gardening isn't just about coaxing plants to grow faster. It's about nurturing something that lasts beyond your own season. The USDA Carbon Persistence Project, 2023, found that soils enriched with biochar retained higher fertility and microbial stability even after 25 years, proving that what we build today can sustain generations to come. When you bury cardboard, you nurture life for this moment, the seedlings that make you smile this spring. When you bury biochar, you invest in the soil your grandchildren might someday touch. Both are essential. One feeds the present, the other builds the future. In that balance lies the real wisdom of gardening and of life itself. Growth isn't about speed, it's about endurance. The richest soil, like the richest life, comes from blending quick nourishment with lasting strength. So, what did this simple cardboard versus biochar test truly reveal? And how should it change the way we think about soil, gardening, and legacy from this season forward? After months of watching, measuring, and learning, the cardboard versus biochar test didn't reveal a winner. It revealed a partnership. Each material plays a role, and together they form a complete system that mimics nature's own design. Cardboard is the soil's feast. It wakes up tired ground, feeds microbes, and invites worms back home. Within weeks, the soil feels softer, smells richer, and shows visible signs of life. Biochar is the soil's skeleton. It locks in carbon, holds nutrients, and keeps water available when everything else dries out. Its effects don't fade with time, they strengthen it. Science agrees. The UC Davis Biochar Study, 2023, confirmed that biochar increases long-term carbon retention and reduces nutrient loss. Meanwhile, the Cornell Microbial Activity Report, 2022, found that cardboard boosts microbial respiration and short-term fertility by more than 200%. Together, they recreate what forest ecosystems have done for millennia. Fresh organic matter feeding from above, stable carbon anchoring below. For gardeners over 55, this is more than good science, it's good sense. It's a low-cost, low-effort, high-reward way to grow stronger plants and healthier soil with less strain and more satisfaction. So this season, try it yourself. Tear some cardboard, charge some biochar, and let the soil teach you what balance really means. Because the secret to better soil, like the secret to a better life, isn't choosing between now and later. It's learning to nurture both.